Hi, I'm Harriet Armstrong. I'm with Purdue Extension, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. We're going to look at a recipe that allows us to use honey. I know several posts have been online from Chris Vogel as he's talked about honeybees, and this gives you a chance now to use that honey and enjoy it. There's a website called FoodLink. And FoodLink has a wealth of different recipes for items that are made in Indiana, grown in Indiana, and honey is one of them. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about how to make chewy granola bars. But I just want to give you a little reminder that honey should not be fed to children that are younger than 1 year of age. And so we're going to look at this healthy snack being something simple, something easy to prepare that you can make at home. So one of the things we want to do first, and I've already done it, is to wash my hands very thoroughly to make sure we're clean. What we're going to be preparing can be baked in the oven, or it can be eaten just as it is after it's cooled. And in that case, it's particularly important that your hands are clean because that food's not going to be under extra heat. So what we're going to start out with are some of the ingredients that I've already gone ahead and pre-measured. We have here 2 cups of quick cooking oatmeal. I have 2 cups of crispy rice cereal. There is also what we have would be a half a cup of peanut butter. This is great for adding extra protein. And that oatmeal, oh, is it good for fiber? Then comes that magic ingredient of honey. We've got 3/4 of a cup of honey, and when you're measuring that, I find it's really helpful to take just a little bit of cooking spray, coat your cup that you're going to use for measuring, and it just simply slides right out. Another ingredient will be a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And then we have some extra crunch and a little bit of saltiness. You know, sweet and salty go together really well. And there we've counted out 20 mini pretzels. Now, I put them in a plastic bag because with that, it makes it very easy to crush them. And that's what the recipe calls for. So I'm just going to take a heavy-duty rolling pin. Whoa. And then think about this. Wouldn't this be fun if you have children in your household to let them help? They can crush and they can also combine. But with this way of doing it, it makes it very simple then to add that into your bowl, which we're going to use for stirring. Okay. So this recipe, as I mentioned, is on FoodLink. I believe they're also going to be posting it so you can get it on the website, so it'll make it very easy for you to find. The first thing we're going to do in one large bowl is to combine those oats, that rice cereal, and then also the pretzels. Now, if you're like me, I like some other taste besides what we have here. So dried fruit, coconut, some nuts, some chocolate chips, all those that can be added. About a half a cup would work to add into this. And then you just simply stir that up and set it aside because now we're going to be looking at those liquid ingredients. So for liquid ingredients, remember I talked about having honey. And we want to make it hot so that it'll be able to blend in with the other items easier. Now this is done by putting it in a microwave safe bowl, which I have here. And with that in the microwave for about a minute, we can get it heated to where our peanut butter will blend in nicely and start to melt so that we can add it in with the other ingredients. So we're going to take a short break, add it into the microwave for 1 minute, and then we'll come back and see what else we'll do with it. Well, now that that honey is heated, we're ready to put in the peanut butter. So taking the peanut butter and adding it in, we can stir until it gets blended. Now, it may take a little bit because that peanut butter is kind of thick. But with it being hot, that peanut butter will start to melt, and it makes it easier then for that to be added. Once you start to see some melting to occur, I like to use a whisk. It just helps the blending process to go faster. So we're going to blend it. After that's completely blended, we'll place it within the microwave and let it go for another minute. All right, that peanut butter and honey is nicely blended. So we're going to add a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And once that is added, we can stir. Just think of how much fun this would be for kids to make, as well as grown-ups and kids to eat. My family is really looking forward to having some samples from this. So we're going to add it to that big bowl that had the cereal, the pretzels, and the crispy rice. Sometimes that honey and peanut butter can get really hot, so be cautious if you have little ones helping you. And I even have a spatula that's pretty heat resistant, so I don't have to worry about the spatula melting. So now we work it in so that it gets evenly distributed throughout the whole bowl. Now there are a couple of different options with this recipe. We are going to place it within a pan here in just a moment and let it set at room temperature until it cools. And that makes for a nice chewy granola bar. But if you're interested in having a granola bar with a little bit more crispiness to it, you can take the same as we are doing, but then at the end, place it into an oven at 300 degrees Fahrenheit and let it sit there for about 20 minutes. That will give it a little more crispiness, and maybe that's what your family would prefer. Either way, I'm going to use a 9x13 pan and take a little bit of cooking spray and spray the pan so that it'll ensure that it comes out easily. Then with that, you can take your mixture, put it within the pan. And if you'll notice, it's kind of loose, not very tight. We want this to be nice and firm in the pan. It'll set up better. And if you're baking it, it'll definitely make it bake a little better. So there are a couple of ways you can do that. I like to take a plastic spatula that I have that's nice and flat, but a metal spatula could work, or the back of a spoon could work. But it simply is taking it and then pressing it down so that it goes evenly across the bottom of the pan and into the corners. This recipe will yield, depending on how large you cut them, about 20 little bars, or if you like them a little larger, maybe closer to 12. But I find that whatever size you make, it's easy to carry those. Placing them in something that is airtight, though, is important so that the moisture doesn't cause extra absorption by the mixture doesn't absorb more moisture and get to be stale. The honey likes to absorb extra moisture. Okay, this looks ready to go. So again, now it's not time to eat it. We're going to let it sit until it's cooled to room temperature, or we're going to bake it and then get it back out. All right, our granola bars are ready to have cut and served. I've already prepared some that are ready to go. And these again can be found, the recipes, on Food Link. That's for Purdue Extension Food Link, which has lots of recipes, not only about honey, but any kind of produce that you can find, whether it be vegetables or fruit grown in Indiana. So please check out Food Link. You can bet that my family is going to be happy when they get a chance to try these granola bars.